Let's try and blast through some of these here donations. I have a $200 donation from Alex Rain 1, who says, shout outs to all the great routers, runners, hosts, organizers, and everyone else who helps make this event so great every year. In today's dark world, it's great to know that there's still wonderful, good people like each and every one of you. I have $5 from Jesse254, who says, I told my girlfriend, Sakura, if she beats both T.M.N.T and Battletoads for the NES, I will propose to her. Let us know how that goes.
タートルズ連続なんで。これ次のはメガドライブで発売された。
I have $50 from Casey Jones, who says, I'm a long-time viewer and I figured it was only fitting to make my first GDQ donation during this year's TMNT block. A big Cowabunga to all the runners for being such radical dudes. Oh, I knew this donation was coming. So, whoever donated, I know who donated this, and I will have words with them later. I have $50 from Woken Matt Hardy, who says, the terrible affliction known as cancer has plagued our human vessels since times immemorial. We must join our brothers and delete cancer. Delete, delete, delete. Ah, wonderful.
これでも見てますか?
Hey girl, hey. All right.
先ピザ買ってくれよかった。
$25 from Gramora. Nice to hear from you, buddy. Donating for a good cause and to cause Bob the Goldfish is awesome. Please stop mentioning me in your donation comments, guys. It's not about me. It's about the charity. It's about the runners. This $25 goes to Bob's choice, which is Superman. I'm trying to... $50 from Ange. 50 says, nothing I'd rather do when homesick than watch other people play video games.
ぜひ
Let's kick cancer's
バーチャル
tail.
コンソー
Good
ルで
luck
買
to all
っ
the
て
runners.
やってみましょう。
I have $40 from an anonymous donation that says, thanks to everyone from GDQ. My husband and I have been enjoying these runs. We're a huge fan of the TMNT series, so glad to see the turtles see some love. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Let's kick cancer in the butt with some turtle power. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Blecky, who's going to be interviewing Whitman Price. Take it away, Blecky.
Hey guys, I'm here with Whitman. So let's see. That was a solid run. One thing that's interesting to me about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is you have these 4 different turtles that you can kind of choose between. And you can kind of use their health in different ways to get through areas. But how does that come up in terms of routing? Like, how can you make sure that you use all the health optimally at any given point?
Thanks, Blecky. You're right. Guerrilla War is a great game. It was a very fun run. We had a good time. Next question. No. With Turtles, it's also a great game, I guess. But yeah, it's very important to kind of choose the right turtle and the right situation. And there were some changes there. Actually, there's been a lot of changes over the years, but one of the things that comes up is turtle switching. And you want to optimally switch turtles because in the dam level, you just are going to take damage. That's the way to go, or else it's very slow.
Right.
So you want to get your turtles low on health, but which direction you switch them in is important, and then which turtle to use kind of following that.
Got it.
So in the past, we actually ended the dam with a different turtle, but now we end it with Michelangelo, because when you take a death abuse on the following level, Donatello's right below him, so you can just mash start and instantly you're using Don.
Got it. Yep. And then throughout the rest of the stages, obviously you want to use Donatello as much as possible, but throughout the rest of the stages, how do you choose kind of who you're using at any given time?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's Donatello, and honestly, once you get to level 3 and you take that death abuse, ideally, I would use Donatello the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, Japan is already dated chains, so most people
in level 3 where you can get a really quick pizza with Leonardo, so that would have been a quick turtle switch, but normally you wouldn't need that for like a record type attempt. But later on in the game, there is a challenging area in level 4, And if you take too much damage with Donatello, you can't take the necessary damage boosts because there are some spikes you can boost through that go really fast. So if you're low on health, you do switch directly to Michelangelo because he's one next to the turtle.
今話はそ
And
の
because you just saved him because he was the one that got captured earlier.
なんかここ1年ぐらい前か
One
な
thing that was very
1年ぐらい
impressive to me as I
前
was watching
に
that is that I don't know how you can do it, but you can just kind of
ま
have
あ
this stream
チャー
of
トがまた
consciousness
変わ
of
って
commentary as you're
そ
playing.
の亀を
What does it take to get to that
変え
level?
る方が早いっていうのが
I
分かっ
mean,
て
it's just a gift, I guess.
そのダメージブーストを使いながらまあ進んでいくの
I
方
don't know.
が
I mean, I think I've
確
played the
立され
game
たんで
for
今
quite a
の
long
ことを
time.
や
It's
ってま
probably
すと
been 3  or
いう
4
こと
years
です
now.
ね。
So once you get that consistent with it, a lot of it just comes down to muscle memory. And to some degree, I think
で
helping
ド
me
ナ
actually
テロ
talks on
ね
that
棒を
because
使っ
if
て
it's
るド
too
ナテロ
quiet or
君
if I'm
が
not thinking, or if
ダ
I
メージ食らい
start
すぎる
thinking
と
because it's too quiet, that will almost mess you up. Whereas if you're talking, you can just have the commentary going, and then it frees your muscle
ノッ
memory
クバ
up
ック
to
で
do
進
that.
めない
That's
の
a key
で
part of speedrunning is just kind of getting that natural ability to do the same thing over and over again.
And do you think, because you stream pretty actively, you stream pretty actively, and
まあちょっと
while you're
厳しいと
streaming, do you think that kind of that, do you try to keep that same mentality where you're commentating that actively?
No, not really. I'm actually pretty lazy when I stream. I'm kind of like just laying down. I don't really feel like talking. But unfortunately, sometimes people come into my chat, and then I'd feel bad if I didn't talk.
Yeah.
So I kind of say a few things. But yeah, I like to kind of joke around. I'll have a few topics that I kind of go back to. I'm not sure if it's just because those are the favorite things to talk about.
Yeah.
But overall with a game, especially if I get like a big
そうそう
raid
ホ
from
ラゲブロッ
somebody,
クは
or if there's
現
somebody
地
new
夜
that
だけど
pops
日
up in
本は
chat
た
that
だ
I
真
haven't
っ昼
seen
間だか
before,
ら
I'll definitely try to go through the mechanics.
何の
I'm
怖
not
さも
going
な
to
い
go as in-depth as we did here today, but I like to talk about a few of the little things, maybe point out a couple things that I find very unique about the game or very fun about the game to kind of draw on their attention and to keep that conversation going when they join.
Yeah, got it. So this is going to be, I mean, a question everyone wants to know the answer to. You saw it coming. Who is your favorite Final Fantasy?
Favorite Final Fantasy? I mean, Raphael is a good Final Fantasy. Donatello is actually amazing in Final Fantasy 1. But, I mean, I got to go back to nostalgia. That's probably the reason I started speedrunning. So as a kid,
担
Leonardo
当リ
Final
ストリームさん怖がってました
Fantasy,
よ
that was the game that got me through it.
マ
I
ジで
mean, I've always loved-
Leonardo is a really good class system.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
怖かった
definitely.
So let's go ahead. Okay, actually, we're going to go ahead and cut to couch. I think we're ready.
日
So
本語リ
thank
ス
you
トリーム
guys
面
so
白いあ
much
りがとうご
for
ざいます
watching, and good
変
luck
な
on
こと
the
分かっ
next
てるけど
run.
ね
Thanks, guys. Keep watching. Keep donating. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Blackie. Let's hear it for those guys.
Thanks, Lucky. That was really fun, man. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna get a couple
変なこ
more
と返っ
quick
てくるね俺は
donations
ね
in here. I have $202
ここカオ
from
ス
an
だから
anonymous
な
donor who says, "Thank you to all the runners for their time and dedication. My wife is
Ma.
being treated for cancer, and thanks to research, it looks like
Ah,
she's gonna
Metal
get
Gear
a
3ね
100% completion cancer-free."
面白い日本人が書いてますよあんまり面白いこと言えないんだよな俺
And with that
結構
one
日本
quick
語わか
one,
る外国の方が来てますよ
AGDQ2018.
多分これ
Let's
が
hear
よ
it for
皆さん
Turbo
知ってる
Gilman.
ね皆さんよく知ってる形のタートルズだと思いますね
Thank you. Working the kinks out, it's cool. All right. Oh, we're live? Okay.
日本語タイトルリターン・オブ・ザ・シュレッダーなんで何とも言えないですメガドライブなんで
Reset starts with the same letter as Raph. That's okay.
Exactly.
そのメガドラはかなりね
Oh,
キャラ差が
yeah,
激しいんで
I'm Turbo Gilman. I love the mess out of this game, and the turtles for that matter. On the couch we have Elra.
多分
Who's everybody doing? We have
多分日本人で知ってるのは多分こっちじゃなくてタートルズ・イン・タイムの方だと思うんですけど内容としては大体同じっすねメガドラ一般的じゃないんで日本だと
It's SDA, so character control. So we'll get there.
そうそうでほとんどの人がやってるのはタートルズ・イン・タイムなん
That's
で
fast, man. All right,
You don't want to see the rip shredder?
まあやってることは同じですねスーファミのと同じですちょっとストーリーが違うぐらい
So, as I was saying, this is Raphael. Some of you know what he looks like.
And if you don't, well, now you do. Raph is
そうそうそう
without a doubt the best character in this game
フ
for
ァ
a
ミ
multitude
コンの
of
2 と
reasons.
3 かな
One, his
2と
movement
3が
speed
ベ
is
ルトアク
lightning
ションなん
fast.
で
He's twice as fast as the second fastest character. He moves at an astonishing walk speed of 3 pixels per second. And his run speed probably somewhere around
だからメガドライブのやつ今高いっすよねこれ今買うとなるとむっちゃ高いんですよなんか3万2万とか3万とかするんでちょっと見てこれで数もそんなに出てないんですよねメガドライブなんで
It's very significant. He does. No, it's all you. It's all you.
So, you might notice Raph from Turtles in Time. He's using many of the similar moves.
あでも1個安いのがヤフオクで出てるわ スーファミでもちょっとお高いですねちょっとレアなんで僕持ってますけどスーファミはちゃんと持ってますけどメガドラは新鮮にくれちゃったからないない
Jabbing an enemy first and then he's hitting them to make sure that foot soldiers die. One other difference with this game is that there's no screen throw because no mode 7, I guess. And you do still have the slam throw, but it's not as good because you don't actually kill the foot soldiers. You hit with the slam. Only the foot soldier
カックするちょっと待ってねあでもゲーム中なんでちょっとあれだね次のゲームになったら更新します一応まあリストリームの方をチェックしながら見てるんですけど太陽さん解説しますか今から
And the dash special is just one of the most powerful attacks that hits multiple foot soldiers at once.
Slide is also invincible the entire time it's out. So getting it through booby traps, falling boulders and balls, like it's actually necessary for that. We'll get to that a bit later though.
And you'll notice with the tight execution,
じゃあブラウザ更新ですね
Despawn coming here. I didn't get it. That guy decided to not play ball. You can despawn the yellow soldier. It's kind of tricky. You have to kill the 3 red guys that pop out of the car almost immediately, but that guy decided to flank and be that guy, so couldn't really do a whole lot about that. Not a huge deal. Still took care of him. And as Mike was pointing out regarding the damage, the actual reason you can't kill most things in one hit like you can sometimes is actually because the foot soldiers got a health buff. They
ま
have
あ
17 HP.
距離が短い分確かアクションダメージ強かったはずなんだけど
Too
違ったっけ
overpowered, so they made him kill characters with 2 hits instead of 1.
I was actually wondering if it was a health buff or they decreased it.
ファイナルファイト
Yeah, everything does the same damage. Raph's special, Raph's dash kick, both still do 16.
地球移動
But
す
all
る
foot
必要
soldiers have 17. But that's consistent amongst all foot soldiers except
そう
those.
僕もあんま予習の時間が実際取れて
They're
ない
not
ん
in this
で
game in Turtles sometimes they got through
全部
bombs.
見れてないんでね
There are guys in here that have flame breath that
die in one
concept.
hit?
Yes. They're basically minions.
So Elrock, Donatello being my favorite turtle, why is he like a handicap compared to Raph?
Slow. His damage while he's in run is good, but unfortunately his actual movement speed is very under par.
Yeah, and also his attacks aren't as powerful as Raphael. So the big reason for Raphael, even if he wasn't the fastest, you'd still probably use him just because his damage is so high. He's the glass can of this game, so the turtles actually all have different health values. Raphael has half the health of the highest health turtle, which is Michelangelo. But that doesn't really matter too much in a speed run, just because if you know what you're doing, you can just kill everything super fast.
It's just all positioning from here, knowing where you need to be. And believe it or not, this game, for a beat 'em up, has very, very little RNG. Enemy spawns are very, very consistent. Behavior once they're on screen, maybe not quite as much, but enemy grouping in this game is so good and powerful that it generally doesn't matter. So here we're going to come to our first boss, who's going to be Leatherhead, also reported over the time, but the boss fight's going to behave a little bit differently. In this game, every time you hit Leatherhead 4 times in a row, it doesn't matter what 4 hits, he's going to spawn to the other side of the screen like so. That's also completely invincible on startup, so you want to be well out of the way of the crawl.
それ失礼しましたねラファエロがダッシュからの派生攻撃の威力が一番高いっていうのとあと移動スピードが他のキャラのダッシュと同じぐらいの速度だということですね
And you might be wondering why he was taking so much risk there to like lower his health. The reason why is that there's a health countdown at the end, and the less health you have, the shorter that is.
Can I make one quick announcement, if you don't mind? I just want to let everybody know we're going to be cutting off the bid war for the Battletoads in about 10 minutes here. So if you want to see Zitzer Pimple overtake Rash, or if you want to reinforce Rash's lead, go ahead and get your donations in now. Don't wait till the last minute. Sorry, guys.
No, it's actually perfect because this is an auto scroller, so it's a perfect time for donations. If you ever need to read.
Well then, I can help you out with that one. All right, so I have $50 from Andage91, who says, "Let's kick Kansas tail. Good luck to all the runners." Thank you, Andage.
Thank you.
I have $25 from Nobble, who says, "Bob the Ninja Goldfish. Hey, I know that guy. Great to hear you made it to GDQ again and have some money. And this might make me a little bit unpopular in the room, but for the Alliance."
For the horde.
確実にハテナを
I'm more
回
of a
収してるっていう
Catmadan guy. The rest of the Alliance can go to hell. Hey man, I'm a dwarf through and through. What can I say? I drink a lot and I hold grudges. Evil Wrath gives $10 and says, "Taking away people's coffee, that's truly evil and a cause I can get behind. Money
まあ
goes
今
to Superman
特に言うことも
64
ないんで
because..."
またドネーションのコメントタイムですね。
So here we have as designated our mysterious ghost ship. Why there's that in a Turtles game, I'm sure was in an episode, but I missed out on that. That explosive you see at the top is completely worthless. We're not going to use it because you have to manipulate enemies to go up there, and why would you do that when you can just run at them?
Yeah, it's not
do all
like
kinds of damage.
Turtles in Time where it just hits the entire screen.
Yeah, unfortunate. But you do see a bit more in this game. That pizza won't even need either. This section is, I've run this game quite a number of times myself. This section of Coming King here is one of my least favorites. It's incredibly dangerous. You have plank boards, which you're familiar with from Skull and Crossbones. But the problem is not so much this one, but this one right here. You have that plank board all the way on the left, and that's where all the enemies spawn. So making sure you get your run triggers like this can be a real pain sometimes. There we go. Good stuff there. Here we have,
スライディングがほぼ無敵だそうで、
As I mentioned before, slide is completely invincible. Upcoming in our next section,
使えるなら使っていきたいと。
falling obstacles that do quite a bit of damage, especially because you're Wrath. So we'll see if we can get past these. Well, that gets a good chunk in the face first. There we go. Yep, there you go. Right through the breach. Also coming soon, we have a first appearance from one of our enemies. They behave a little bit differently in this game. We have the Stone Warriors. You can't throw them in this game. You can only attack them with melee. But with running, you can still do a significant amount of damage to them, and you can keep them in stun lock with running, slides, and or kicks.
Yeah,
See that here.
how the stun works in this game is a lot different than how it works in the Super Nintendo. It's not nearly as long. It's not nearly as pronounced.
But that's okay because Raph's really fast. He can compensate for the time.
So there's something kind of funny about this stage. I think there's
ここは確か3つが
It's a
2
pretty
つか
decent. That's
3
like
つピザ
two,
があ
I
っ
think,
たは
on
ずなんだ
hard.
けど、
But it's pretty exorbitant on the treats. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like,
うまい
hey,
な。
we put too many pizzas in stage 2.
今の巻き込みうまいな。
Exactly.
Nice squad kill there. Those are kind of hard to set up in this game because, as Mike mentioned, they don't kill every enemy on screen guaranteed. You have to actually set it up.
サイで
Nice
すね。
lessons of life there,
Nice group.
for sure. Should have a few more of these guys out of the way before we get to our first pizza. It's coming up in a section where there are falling spikes, so you kind of have to be wary. There's also some guys with shields, but
ちゃんと
they
回
get
復しま
hit
した
by
ね。いい
running
です
attacks just like
ね。
anybody else. And nice.
Good.
Good collect. Booyah. Give him the business. Give him the kicks. Yo, dog, I wear kicks. Want to
メ
look
サ
at
ー
them?
の字って
So do you still need to slide or tackle the shield foot soldiers?
No, no. You can
なんか
any
みん
run
なむちゃく
attack
ちゃ言ってないか。
works. The dash kick works too. It's pretty effective.
実手
Melee
と
attacks
サイ
don't
は
work, but I mean, if you're Wrath, you're not jabbing people.
違いますね。
Would have missed there, but hardly a big deal.
Yeah, there's 1cc strats.
Hey, you're going for score attack. Don't forget.
I always go for score attack.
忍者の武器ですね、サイって。まあ実手に近いですけど。
Those purple soldiers are actually really annoying. We'll see them a bit
Psyche
later.
stuff.
They have projectiles. Here we have casually one of the hardest bosses in the game. Rocksteady has. This is probably the hardest Rocksteady ever. He actually has a bit of a broken hitbox.
Even more so than the NES T.M.N.T.
サ
I'll
イっ
put it
て
this way: when he
ね、
kicks at you, which he just showed right there, he has a hitbox behind him. So you can't sneak up behind him and start doing dash attacks. He actually will like.
もともと確か琉球王国じゃなかったっけ？ なんかどっかで見たことあるけ
Still,
ど。
same 4 attacks you do with Leatherhead. Make sure you flip to the other side. And that's going to clean him up real quick.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Baze on that.
あ
Also,
あ
this is
漢
my
字ありが
favorite
とうござい
line
ま
in
す
the
それが
game.
そうですねはいそれで
Remember
す
when
ね
I see you next time, I'll beat you.
川番が
So he's alluding to the inevitable boss rush that's coming
で
later.
Shadowing a Turtles game? Wait a minute.
ヨーロッパとかアメリカではまあ形がすごい珍しいんでまあよく使うっていう
music in this game is mostly ported turtles and time tracks, but this is one of 3 tracks that's actually original. And I definitely say this track and the track after it are the best tracks in the game.
I can agree with that. They're quite
Oh, yeah,
なんだっけ
Not to mention the rise of the new
これ
enemies
デ
here.
ッ
We
ド
have
プール
most
で見
east
たんだよ
our
な
first,
サ
single
イ
hit point foot soldiers, which in this game it's actually faster to clear
で
them out because
海外版は
you
ちゃ
get
ん
to
と
scroll
C,
the screen
C
quicker.
から始まるんですけ
I
ど
don't
日
know
本
if
語
Rogue
確
Karate
か
doing Ninja Castle either.
K じゃなかったっけ
I suppose. Here we have these guys. Since Raph's so fast, he can generally get over there and just take care of them like that.
まあそうですよね硬直短いタックルで最初基本攻撃
Yes, I
する
do.
のが
Shoutouts to Beaks.
He's donated and said, "You are a man of many talents.
My
Keep,
man.
keep
Normie?
hodling. Yes, I'm calling you out. Hodling it down for SBY.
まあデッ
Glad
クの
to
場合
see the
は
Rockstar hairs back.
状況が違いますからねあの
Good
人
luck on the run."
確かガンがむちゃくちゃ進行しててそれをなんか
A few more enemies here. I always love that
なんかや
this is the
なんかやっ
stage they
て
chose to like really abuse the mechanic of the manhole cover.
とんでもな
Just 'cause
く
they just pop out of the ground. It just looks so silly. It's like stone tablets. Okay.
喋るキャ
Now
ラ
you
になっ
saw
ちゃったっ
Mousers
てい
there.
う
That's the first time we've seen them this game. They will actually become quite a threat a bit later, but again, we'll get to that.
難民
Great
か
stage here.
なるほど
Homage to the NES version of T.M.N.T 2 with the Ninja Castle. Very, very similar. It also has some of the most dangerous sections.
まあ人数多いからね本
This
家
one's kind of annoying, but dude, this one's only bad if you jump. If you just spikes in the ceiling, that can tag you if you decide to jump, but you're Raph, why would you jump? You're not doing extra damage while you're jumping. Here we have where the slide's gonna come in.
Bamboo.
These candles.
なんでバンブ
spikes,
ーわかんねえんだよ
have bamboo shoots. They, thank you for that correction. They
バンブーわ
they
かんねえっ
have
て
a
なんだ
really
よ
large hitbox that guarantees knockdowns.
見てわかるだろ
time if you get tagged. So using slide through there to use those foot soldiers is exactly where you want to be. And with those yellow
なん
guys,
でもな
it's
み
even
ん
more annoying because they zone like crazy. They're basically just dropping air fireballs on you. Couple more duders here. We got a little bit of time for our
竹
next
槍ですよ
trap. Is there any
竹槍
donations that like to be read off?
Yeah. Okay. I have $150 from Mr. Man who says, "I'm loving the Turtles runs. My cousin's mother-in-law has been fighting cancer for years and had a close call
あ
with
あ
cancer
いたね
2
あんな
days
犬
ago.
もね
Looking forward to the day cancer is eradicated. Good luck to the runners and looking forward to the rest of the show."
Thank you.
$50 from Wisconsinman who merely says, "Pizza's all right for breakfast, right?" I mean,
バンブーラン
I'm
スって
gonna say
通じないんじゃないですか
For breakfast.
多分
there's
そういう
something
の
you
が
mentioned about
な
this
いと
part.
思うけ
This
ど
is one
ね
of the few parts where he might
ドラクエ
actually
でもあるんだけど
throw,
なあれ
just
竹
because
蔵
the
か
invincibility is so convenient here for dealing with these lasers.
Yeah, same with the slide. That's also one of the few sections where we're playing on hard.
あのメカ犬ですねシュレッダーのところで作ってるメカ犬卑劣極悪過激
That'll clear us out into our boss. Quite an interesting boss here. Very unique Tatsu.
This guy is such a jerk.
So this boss is either really hard or really dumb and trivial and easy. And it all depends on
ダ
what,
ッシュ
how
キッ
well
クは
you
2
can
回ダ
dash
メージ与える
special.
ので効率
Dash
がいいそう
kick
で
hits him
す
twice at a time for 16 times each, so 32 damage for a dash kick. And much like our other first two bosses, 4 hits alternates from the other side. So it's just all about run, get in there, and finish it up.
I
Good boss
lose,
fight,
I
though.
lose
Good
like
boss
3
fight.
lives
Yeah.
against this guy. Great fight, Turbo. Great fight.
Shoutouts to the Buddha Shredder in the back, too.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Shredder needs 8 more
yeah.
arms.
川番が
And this is absolutely your last chance to donate for your Battletoad Toad of choice.
Touchdown!
And coincidentally, the last time for donations, pretty much this whole level until
All right.
Baxter.
Yeah,
You just tell me when to stop. 'cause
シ
I'm
ル
gonna
バー
keep
サムライ
going.
ブシュレッダーですけどね
Okay, so
デザインがね
I've got $30 from Zamora Guys who says, "Shout out to my good friend Matt, one of the coolest dudes I know. Let's kick shell, Matty."
Fuck yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad, fam.
That was some very un-Turtles-like behavior right there.
Cherrick
Shell
says,
shot.
No, he's ref. He's ref.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sigena.
He's rude.
Yeah, cool but rude.
he is
Okay,
cool
you're right.
but
He's
crude.
just
Yeah.
role-playing.
$20 from Evil J says it's second
確か
time
に
donating
本
this
家のチャッ
marathon.
トすげえ流れの速す
AGDQ
ぎ
has
て
become something
大
of a
変だな
yearly
これ
tradition for myself. Watching it all week long during a very purposely scheduled vacation. I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing. Plus, who doesn't like to see PJ suffer?
Funny.
Put it all towards Rash.
ワニ
We have $50 from Cherrick, who merely says the ultimate awful game. Yes, please. If you think Superman 64 is the ultimate awful game, watch Awful Games Block, because there'll be a lot of people saying, hold my beer. So, $150 from Wootwee, who says, sadly I'll be traveling, but wanted to donate for GDQ. Putting my money towards Superman 64 any percent. Find that sometimes the worst games make for the silliest and fun speedruns. We have Saki, who donates $10 and said the one game to include a human mover character, and it's not Vanilla Ice? For shame. Ice, baby!
So true.
It's a waste of talent.
Yay, kick is a fair move from Rocksteady.
Oh,
see what I mean?
We've got a bit of a gauntlet thrown down here. $20 from Jamzar Steel, who says, turtles are good, but toads are better. I don't think we're going to have to see out that. AGDQ record setter. Green doesn't go for zits. He's like cancer-free as the pit. I could be a fan of Rash. He's okay, but gets no cash. Could be that one George Pie Pimple. Silly name, but kind of simple. Instead, like Emerald, bam! Psych, put this for Superman. You put me through all that for Superman? Really?
Welcome to Awful Games Block.
コナミのベルトアクションは意外と難しいんで、結構罠ですよ。Stop.
Alright, so as you saw the boss rush there, really not much difference there in those boss fights. They have a little bit more health, and you don't get access to pizza, so you have to limit your specials. Here we have probably the most annoying boss in the game, Baxter Stockman. This is going to look very similar for anyone who's ever been in an arcade. The fight, however, goes a little bit differently. You don't have the jump slash with an air hitbox like you do in those games. For this game, you still have to take to the air, but that's not exactly Raph's strength. You do have a couple of options on the ground. You can do a special that spin kick you see there, which can connect with him. The brown side is if it connects with a Mouser, you still lose the health and don't get to hit Baxter. And you also simultaneously hit Baxter. The other downside is the Mousers are incredibly strong in the air. As you can see, they anti-air.
名前なんだっけなと思って必死に思い出そうとしたんだけど。
Dragon punch for free. It's actually really obnoxious.
確かにネズミ捕りかあれ。
It's not really RNG based. It's just that it's one of those cases where your execution needs to be there. Just don't miss it. But still a good fight. Yeah. Very, very good fight there.
Yeah, and during the Rocksteady fight, I intentionally took the shell shock so that I would have specials, but I still took a ton of damage when I fought him.
It was the right call for sure. You want to have as much health as you can going into Baxter. It's a very annoying fight for sure.
てかスーファミのも結構難易度高いので大変ですよ。ハエ男が一面です。
But when you get to the elevator,
there's one in the elevator.
So for this stage, this one is to me the true gauntlet because you don't have too many bosses to deal with, but you have just this gigantic wave of every single enemy you've seen, including one new one which we'll get here in just a moment. Mousers aren't that big a deal as long as you can fight them on the ground. As we're doing your slide, cuts through them like butter.
Traps coming up too.
結構ドットゲーが増えてますよね、Steam はね。
4, very nice. That's good. 4 is excellent there. The most I've seen with one single slide. Good setup. Got these Mousers here. I believe it was Mike that mentioned there was no pizza in this room. We can actually deviate away from the pizza by singing about it. What do you think, Turbo?
Oh, I'm totally
Sing about
down.
some pizza? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
本家ではここの歌歌ってますね。
Millions, lizards, and tadpoles hardly enters your mind that there's something better than this. Let us leave for a carrot, maybe a seed from a parrot. Leave it when I tell you the word gourmet just don't exist. But pizza power, flying stars to food delight. Pizza power, that's what makes us feel alright.
うまいですね、歌がね。いいですね。
Oh, dear God. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, man.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Just pulled at my heart, sir.
Speaking of which, what a jerk with that fireball right in the chest.
まあここの曲が
some of these guys forgot their laundry, so they're gonna pop out of this chute here. More just all grouping.
この曲なんかで使ってたよね、アニメでも。でそれで歌があるから。
Bump his shoulder and everything and not put a bandage on it.
So there is one thing about that flip tackle. You do have a limited time frame to do it, and if you screw it up, you'd end up doing a slide instead.
Which is unfortunate because slide does cause knockdown. Because you want the flip tackle is the only one-hit kill move in the game. So you have to make as much opportunity out of it as you can. This is also going to look familiar to Turtles.
いやそんなことはないですけ
Freeze
ど
rays are obnoxious because you have to pace yourself around the screen. Foot soldiers have this habit of hanging out where they know one's going to spawn. They're just like, yeah, yeah. Pretty weak.
And that's the first run in 2 weeks that I've had with without getting hit by ice.
Nice.
That was good, yeah.
配置を割と覚えてるからどっから出てくるかなんとなく予想してるっていう
Guys like the zone, they're going to be a bit obnoxious here. We've actually got a small amount of time before the
当たり
boss
ま
hit
した
time for a
ね
single
今ね
donation.
Actually, I want to make a quick announcement.
Certainly.
We did just add a new donation incentive for the Secret of Evermore run.
Hey.
Now, for those of you who are familiar with Meta Sigma Stream, there's a certain chicken with a certain theme song in mind. And if we meet the donation of about $20,000, Meta Sigma is going to sing the Lobotomy Chicken song during
Yo.
So,
Get your wallets out.
if you've ever wanted to hear Meta Sigma
No issues there.
sing a song, now is the time.
So one thing
こ
about
こは
Death
ま
Race game is
あ
that
さっ
they're
き
not
そこの
very
トラップの
fast
せい
over
で
time, as long as you're not
スライディングを
knocked
メインでやってますね
Yeah.
Truth. And I've actually never
Hey,
even seen a
来ました。
deathless run of this game because a lot of special abuse really comes from that.
out. Yeah, and there's just a lack of beats as well.
クランゲ行きました
Especially
クラン
on
ゲ
this difficulty. So here we have my favorite boss fight in the game. Here we have Krang. Also similar to Turtles in Time, with one major difference: you can actually run this fight because you're not tethered to a hoverboard. So there's actually a quick kill associated with this fight, which Baze actually really unlocked the key on. We're gonna get 3 cycles here of dash kicks.
Oh,
We're gonna
いいで
hit
すね。
multiple times a piece. Perfect execution there. That was a phenomenal quick kill. Now, the interesting thing about that fight is when I
There's
was
a health trigger.
Right. When I was first practicing it, I would just hit him 6 times to get him to go into fly state, because, I mean, that's as many hits as it takes. But I thought it was, oh, there's no pizza. Look at me being wrong. I'm so good. You missed the trigger by doing too much damage. Like, I would do, like, 6 shoulders, but then for the last cycle, he would go invincible and drop bombs, and you don't want that. You want to hit him as much damage as you can so you can max out the damage on your kicks. And,
真似できるわけねえだろあれ
Yeah, there's just when he gets below a certain point of health, he will go into invincible mode. So the dash kicks help prevent that from happening, just because it do so much damage.
Through that. And force it to beat him up.
裏声使っても出ねえわ
It's also going to look very similar. This one's interesting. It moves a bit slower than your standard elevator, I think. And the enemies spawn out of the doors really slow, which I've never been a huge fan of. So you've got some Rodney Duders here. They alternate the number of robots that come out of the door. It's 1, then 2, then 2, then 1. You want to make sure you got control attack on both sides, because it's also much like for Foot Soldiers, it's the only attack that kills them in 1 hit. So you just want to make sure you're there. Little Mouser's floor here. There's 3 waves. Slide's gonna take care of everything.
うまくない
Perhaps get the circus act on.
ーんつって
Slides in here.
1K.
それぐらいしか出てこないわ
Score attack, boys.
So it's actually good for marathon safety to do a
Yeah,
score
you
attack
do.
because you get lives every 300 points.
It's actually first 100 points and every 200 points after that.
Oh, really?
So it's 1,
似
3,
てると
5,
思って
7,
ないんだけ
9.
ど
It's a weird algorithm, but that's how it works in this game. Whereas in Turtles in Time, it's like just static.
It's just
200.
every 200.
So for this last section of enemies, they actually start spawning immediately. The goal is you want to kill all 3 waves before it reaches not the next door, because that one doesn't open, but there's a door
で
right after
シ
that.
ュレ
If you
ッダー
don't
が
kill
この
them
ザ
by
ゴ
then,
っつって
it waits till the next door and you lose a cycle. So making sure to get take care of all of them, which he was
あ
able
の
to do.
ザ
is
ゴ
very,
は
very
つってなん
crucial.
かいつも
So we're going to
も
move
う
on
ぐち
here
ぐち文句
to our final boss. Now there's a bit of RNG associated
Come
with
on.
Super Shredder, but with good execution, making sure
Sa-
Slides get in there,
Shredder.
which Slide is very, very important in this fight because it invincibles through any of his attacks. As long as you can keep those damage cycles going, it doesn't matter what he does because Slide goes through all of it. So we're going to see quite a bit of slippies here coming up in a second.
沢木ちゃん来ましたよ沢木ちゃんが
Got your ice, got your fire, got your mutagen, and time will be when Shredder cascades over the side of the balcony. So we'll call that here soon. Takes about a 5-6 cycle fight.
ほぼはめてますねタイム
Good damage output there. Good stuff there. And time.
パワーパンが
24-22. That is an incredible
yeah,
time.
that's a good
That's a
time.
really good time. That's within a minute of your PB. So yeah, that's really good. Shredder cascades down the There's a word there. I don't know what it is. I thumbed them all away. My vocabulary's gone. And here we have Splinter just chilling out in the daytime New York City, like, you know, no one cares if there's a giant rat. Oh my God, giant rat!
And small little interesting thing about hard mode is that when you beat the game, we'll see the next scene, and we'll see a collage of the turtles' portraits as well.
Which is actually one of my favorite things.
ウェルガーじゃないですよ。
The Genesis art design
ウ
for
ェル
this
ガーじゃ
game
ないです
is
よ。
actually pretty understated. It looks really neat.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the portraits are insane looking.
Turtle
Pizza
power.
power.
Oh, that's the same as the Super Nintendo version, actually.
Yep. And look, for all the work Raph did, he's about to fall over the edge. And
Yeah.
So, do you have any final shout-outs, Turbo, before we go on to
エイプリルの
Battletoads
声
Arcade?
が
First of all, shout out to
NHK 版とテレ東版で違うんですよね。
One of my favorite games of all time.
エイプリル
Also
確
shout
か
outs to Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And,
3つあるんだっけ
Konami
ビデオ
producing a
版
great
と
game.
BS2 と
And
な
all
ん
my
か
friends and family who
NHK
helped
の
me get here.
BS とテレ東
I
版で
appreciate everyone's support and
いろいろ
had
違
a lot
うん
of
で
fun.
ね。まあこれも楽しいですよ。聞き比べると。
Give it up for that awesome run. Let's hear it one more time, guys. All right. I've got $25 from Kaj, who says, from my sister, dad,